welcome to MidLearn. Know about yourself. In this video, we discuss about kset 2017 Life Science Part B. Solved questions Part 1. A process by which reproductive isolation occurs among groups of individuals within a continuous inbreeding population is called. Options are sympatric speciation, allopatric speciation, parapatric speciation, quantum speciation. Answer is option A, sympatric speciation. Solution is like this. Sympatric speciation. In Greek, it means same place. Here the speciation occurs in the same place. Here it involves the formation of a new species within the single population without any reproductive isolation. While allopatric speciation, here the formation of a new species occurs due to the geographical isolation. Then parapatric speciation. The parapatric speciation is a mode of speciation in which there is no extrinsic barrier between the population, but due to the large geographical range of the population causes the individuals to mate with the neighboring individuals than with the individuals in a different part of the same geographical range. In this, population is continuous, but the population doesn't mate randomly. Quantum speciation. The rapid speciation which occurs within a small population where founder effect or genetic drift plays a major role. In which of the following techniques there is no electrophoretic step? Options are dot blot, western blot, northern blot, southern blot. Answer is option A, dot blot. Here, the dot blot is also known as slot blot. It is a technique in molecular biology which is used to detect the proteins, and it does not use the gel electrophoresis step. The steps involved are the protein extraction, then blotting on the nitrocellulose or PVDF filter, then blocking with a BSA medium, addition of primary antibody, then removing of these primary antibody, then addition of secondary antibody, then the calorimetric detection will be done. So this is how dot blot will be done without the usage of electrophoretic step. Bicoid mRNA is localized in the dash region of Drosophila egg. Options are anterior, posterior, dorsal, ventral. Answer is option A, in the anterior region. Here, the bicoid mRNA is translated into the bicoid protein. The bicoid protein gradient is essential for the formation of anterior-posterior axis of embryo of Drosophila. Hence, bicoid mRNA is localized in the anterior region of the Drosophila oocyte. Which of the following is an example of mobile genetic element in humans? Options are P element, IS element, lines, ARS. Answer is option C. But before entering into the answer, we should know what is mobile genetic elements. Mobile genetic elements are genetic material which can move around within a genome or which can move from one species to another. In human genome, around 50% of genome is thought to be MGs, that means mobile genetic elements. So here answer is lines. Lines are mobile genetic elements which are the most widespread class of transposons in mammals, constituting approximately 20% of mammalian genomic content that are amplified via retrotransposition. They are autonomous and they do not have repeating sequences. IS elements means insertion sequence elements. P elements, the transposable elements found in Drosophila. ARS, autonomously replicating sequence, contain the ORI site in yeast genome. The requirement of long day length or low temperature treatment for flowering can be substituted by gibberellins, coumarins, 2,4-D, morphactins. Answer is option A, gibberellins. Here, the gibberellins are plant hormones that regulate various developmental processes including stem elongation, germination, dormancy, flowering, flower development, and leaf and fruit senescence. Gibberellins are one of the longest known clans of plant hormone. In long day plants, the gibberellins treatment usually results in early flowering. So that's why the gibberellins can be used as substitute of long day length or low temperature. Coumarins is a colorless crystalline solid with a sweet odor resembling the scent of vanilla and a bitter taste. It is found in many plants where it may serve as a chemical defense against predators. 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is referred as 2,4-D. It is a systemic herbicide which selectively kills most broadleaf weeds by causing uncontrolled growth in them, but most grasses such as cereals, lawn turf, and grassland are relatively unaffected. Morphactins are a group of substances which act on morphogenesis and modulate the expression of plants. Why do fats give more energy than carbohydrates? Options are: fats have carboxylic group, fats are more reduced than carbohydrates, fats are larger than carbohydrates, fats have more number of bonds than carbohydrates. Answer is option B. Here the fats are more reduced than carbohydrates. Fats are macromolecules made up of glycerol and fatty acid. The physiological value of fat is 9 calories per gram. Fatty acids have higher oxidized state of -2 or -3, which means carbon of fatty acid has more electrons around them. Later, when electrons are transferred to oxygen, that is oxidized, more energy is released, which means fats are more reduced than the carbohydrates. Choose the right arrangement in the increasing order of energy. Urge is lesser than calorie, calorie is lesser than joule, joule lesser than calorie, calorie lesser than urge lesser than joule, joule lesser than calorie, calorie lesser than and urge lesser than joule. So here option C is the answer, where urge is lesser than joule and joule is lesser than calorie. So here the SI unit of energy is the joule. 1 joule is equal to 0.2389 calories, where 1 joule is also equal to 1 crore urge, which means urge is lesser than joule and joule is lesser than calories. All are sequence alignment tools except Rasmol, Blast, FASTA, Clustal W. Here the answer is option A, Rasmol. Rasmol is a molecular graphic program intended for the visualization of proteins, nucleic acids, and small molecules. The program is aimed at display, teaching, and generation of publication quality images. BLAST, the basic logic alignment search tool, is an algorithm and program for comparing primary biological sequence information such as the amino acid sequence of proteins or the nucleotides of DNA or RNA sequences. FASTA. FASTA is a short form of Fast All or FASTA. It is the DNA and protein sequence alignment software package which search similarities by comparing sequence patterns or words. Clustal W, the third generation, released in 1994. The Clustal W, like other Clustal tools, is used for the aligning multiple nucleotide or a protein sequence in an efficient manner. It uses progressive alignment methods which align the most similar sequences first and work their way down to the least similar sequences until a global alignment is created. Cluster W is a metric-based algorithm. It requires 3 or more sequences in order to calculate a global alignment. When you eat vegetables, you are tertiary consumer, secondary consumer, primary producer. Answer is option C, primary consumer. Here, the plants which prepare their own food are called as primary producers. The organisms which depend on the plants for the food are considered as primary consumers. Example, sheep and goat. Here, if we eat vegetables, then we are considered as primary consumers. If we eat sheep and goat, then we are considered as a secondary consumers as we depend on the primary consumer for food. The organisms that depend on the secondary consumer for food, then those organisms are called as tertiary consumers. Extraction of metals from ore-bearing rocks is known as biofiltration, biotransformation, bioleaching, bioremediation. Here the answer is option C, bioleaching. Biofiltration is the process of treating sewage by passing through a biofilter. Biotransformation, it is a chemical modification made by an organism on a chemical compound in the body. Biotransformation is also called a mineralization. Bioleaching is the process of extracting metals from ores or waste by using microorganisms to oxidize the metals and producing soluble compounds. Bioremediation, the use of either naturally occurring or deliberately introduced microorganisms to consume and break down environmental pollutants in order to clean a polluted site. Thank you. For more videos of solution and theory, kindly follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Scan to follow us on Instagram.